Hi, on this episode of Ghouls Next Door, there's some very mature and graphic content. Please be advised. Thank you. Hi, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Kat.
And we're the Ghouls Next Door.
Talking about us
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming to you live from our living room.
All the time.
Living room.
Yeah, don't come here, but we'll be here, so that's cool.
We're like always here. Cat.
What?
Baby, it's cold outside.
It is that. It's really cold.
Yeah.
It's like, when you look at me, I'm frozen, mesmerized, and frozen by your eyes. You can't come closer because we both can't move.
Because we're frozen. You need to let it go.
I don't want, you have something on your face. Uh-oh, it came off your face. It came off. The face is gone.
No one has any idea what you're talking about.
That's what frostbite is. Your face is there, it itches, you move it, and it's gone now.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Nothing
That's
else.
my non-medical diagnosis.
That's good. I'm glad we have it.
I was trying to say romantic words to you, but like about the topic, and that was what happened.
You can never say romantic things about any topics that we cover. We cover horror.
Horror can be sexy. I've decided.
All right. Well,
I don't need a survey.
episode 37. We're going to talk about snow and being cold and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's that. It snowed a little today.
Yeah, it was
It like barely snowed, Cat.
It was super big snow. The snow is where you can't see because it's podcast. But I made a quarter-sized
It was
shape
not that
with
big
my hands.
snow.
I walked in it, so
It
let's
didn't even
start there.
stick.
When the weather outside is frightful, Gabe. Go watch a horror movie.
Fire is so delightful.
No, the murder is so delightful.
That's better.
Just horror.
Or it's not murder. It's just the snow murdered you.
Yeah. When the weather outside is frightful and you die because it is cold.
Yeah.
That's my words I made now. You're welcome.
Let it die, let it die, let it die.
Let it die, let it die, let it die.
So we're going to talk about snow.
Mm-hmm.
And what's spooky about it. That's what we're going to talk about. Because
Yes.
people think like, oh, it's beautiful. Or, oh, it gets turned to slush. And then it's like just inconvenient because now you have to dig your car out.
No, it's not. It's maybe like, I don't like winter. I'm gonna be real. I don't like winter very much. Not because like of any logical reason. It's just cold. My lungs don't work. It's trash lung season. Anyone else who has asthma and everything else wrong with them in the world. Inhalers are expensive. It's rude.
Yeah.
And winter does that.
Yeah.
It's not just like life. Like it is life, but like also the only time of year where like I could actually die just because like I can't breathe. Winter. Rude. Snow's rude.
Yeah.
Winter's rude. It's cold. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm from Florida. So winter to us was like 60 degrees. And we were like, ah.
No. You want to breathe? That's necessary. That's important? I don't think so.
No.
Nah, it's cold outside. Yeah. Just stay inside. And I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that anyway. Oh, but I have to. It's rude.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And there's many ways you can die in the winter and snow. Not
Yeah.
just from asthma.
Oh yeah, no. It's like weather is really scary.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it. I did weather preparedness drills as a little person for my entire life.
Yeah.
Weather was the way, other than robots, that I thought I was going to go.
Oh.
We're both losing our voices because it's cold outside.
Been battling a cold. As soon as the weather turns, my body is like, well, we should just die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what winter is.
Yeah.
That's why snow is scary.
What is this? Yeah, it's scary. You can get hypothermia, pneumonia, frostbite.
Everyone just gets sick and then
The
It's bad.
Abominable Snowman.
It's a season of sadness. Like, why?
Also, yeah, seasonal depression.
We get sad. It's a crappy time. Except some people love winter, and I don't get it.
I love winter when I stay inside.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's a good inside
Fashion
time.
is better.
Yeah, well, there's many ways to die, and apparently, I didn't know it, but I've been very knowledgeable in very newsworthy snow deaths. Reports.
Yeah, you just had like a list ready, and I was like, Gabe, you're from Florida. Wait, why?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
I'm from Florida. And we don't have snow there, so I just imagine when snow happens, it's the apocalypse. It's 2012. It's, what was it, the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
And snow just happens and you die immediately. And so it's like,
that's how the South takes it. They're like, ooh, nah, we're shutting everything down. Meanwhile, I'm in like torrential snow chaos. And they're like, yeah, you can still run after school programs. And I'm like, no. Why? Why is this? It's dark now and I have to ice everywhere and it's terrible.
You have to ice everywhere?
Yeah, because it's like when it gets dark, it gets colder, and then ice happens.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, cool, all the teachers can go home safe at 3. Meanwhile, we don't care if y'all live.
So I decided to look up when those cases happened to solidify my theory that snow kills.
It does, in fact.
Yeah, we're going to be investigating 2 stories about snow deaths. That's the Dyatlov Pass, which it was mysterious until, people actually thought about it for a minute. And then also the very tragic Donner Party.
Yeah, which everyone knows the Donner Party. If you don't...
Incorrect.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Incorrect.
Interesting.
I have asked in very recent times, in the past 3 months, I have asked numerous people if they knew what the Donner Party is. In one instance, the first time someone said, no, I have no idea what you're talking about, I then went to several other people around them and were like, do you know what the Donner Party is? And the entire building had no idea.
That's upsetting.
Isn't that crazy?
That's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, I'm not going anywhere where it might be cold with y'all because y'all didn't learn the history. Yeah. You don't know what can happen.
Like, why aren't we teaching our children about the disgusting human tragedies?
I learned about them.
Have people played Oregon Trail? Dysentery, cannibalism.
That stuff was great.
Your ox died.
It was the
Your
best
kid got bit by a snake. That was my best friend's favorite game.
Yeah, no, it was great. I used to play it in school. It was like a game we played at school.
It was like on all the school
computers. Mm-hmm. And it was the best.
Because you learned about dysentery. Learn about the settlers and how their life sucked.
Yeah.
That's what you get for stealing people's land. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You can't just go around to a new place and be like, this is mine now.
These are facts.
Yeah, so...
It goes bad. Also, don't go out in the snow, because also bad.
Facts. Yeah, facts. We tell you facts. All the facts. Yeah, facts. Still facts. About that spooky stuff. Yeah, spooky stuff.
Why don't we dissect the tale? Let's start with the tale of what people think happened. Like, just give an overview of what happens.
Yeah.
Then we'll go into theories. And then we'll go into facts. Because this is the facts section.
Yeah.
So first, what is a Dyatlov Pass incident? What happened? What's the sitch?
Yeah. It's in Russia.
Okay.
La-da-da.
Makes sense for why it's, Dyatlov.
Yeah. Words I'm not great at saying.
Yeah.
But tried. The Dyatlov Pass is in Russia. It's pretty cool, there. Fun.
It's not. People die all the time from snow. Napoleon.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't die, but his people, he lost.
Yes, loose history facts from Ghouls next door. What's up?
Well, because that was the whole thing. Is they waited too long. They tried to dominate Russia. Russia was like, go ahead, tried to live through this stupid winter time.
It's really big.
Russia is just the embodiment of winter.
Yeah. So that's there.
Yeah.
It was 1959. The frozen bodies of a 9-member ski hiking ridiculous expedition had gone missing for weeks, and essentially they were found near their campsite in the mountains. The mountain has a whole other name that's hard to say. Kholat Syakhl. It's Kholat. And then there's just no more vowels. SYA, but then KHL. According to Russian sources, means dead mountain. So, you just really want to go there. You want to go with your friends. Go ski hiking.
Yeah.
As you do. Go on a nice little trip to Dead Mountain. Where dead that you die there.
Summer in Dead Mountain.
It was, sad because young people, made up of mostly students and graduates of an institute, Earl Polytechnic. Fun. That was like, oh my God, there's so many names. We're just going to skip that part.
Yeah, we're not going to say the names because I feel like
it was the
rude.
27th of January. They were about 7 miles out from, I guess, where they were supposed to be. They were sidetracked by a snowstorm and made a tent on the nice Death Mountain that, And later that night, they died. But what was weird about it is, apart from the fact that they had froze to death, no one really knew why. And what they found to be really strange about it is that, one, they were all not in the tent. They exited the tent and had, removed most of their clothing. Mm-hmm. So you'll notice, there's, one shoe on one, and then, they're, butt-ass naked. And then the part where it got really weird is most of them were kind of just half naked and frozen to death, but there were a few that one had removed her tongue or their tongue.
Or bit off her tongue.
Well, their tongue was not in their face anymore.
Yeah.
As well as their eyes. Eyes were gone. That happens.
I didn't see that one.
And they removed the skin from their eyebrows and their nose and stuff. It was it looked like something happened to them instead of it just being froze to death.
And then there's rips in the tent.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So it was seemed like they just froze to death, but there was some suspect stuff happening.
Big question mark.
Was it a Yeti? Who knows? Yeah. Investigators concluded that, they had died of natural
what are the
forces.
theories?
Let's go through those theories then. All right.
Yeah. I don't want to know the truth yet.
So let's talk about the first thing. Fireballs.
I'm sorry?
The first theory is fireballs happen.
Whiskey?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
I was
We're in
gonna
Russia.
say, there's been plenty of, vodka.
There's no fireball
Potatoes.
vodka unless I am wrong. Someone correct me. But yeah, fireballs were reported. Eyewitnesses. Those trusty eyewitnesses.
It's not that one person who lost her eyes.
Saw fast-moving balls of fire in the night sky around where the incident took place on Death Mountain. And it was
Death Mountain has fireballs.
Well, it's what? It was suggested plausibly that these were Soviet missile or rocket tests, which did kind of line up with the fact that some of the people who had died had radiation on their clothes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But basically, the theory was that they were testing rockets, and that's how the radiation got on them, and then that caused them to die somehow.
To lose their nose.
When your tongues just
nose.
fall out of your face and your eyes explode when rockets go above you, it happens. It just happens. But then they eventually were like, hey, no, that's not what happened because no rockets were set off based on these records. When you read books and there's facts and stuff, it's crazy. But they also ruled out any animal attacks as well.
Like a Yeti.
Nope. They just said animal attacks were ruled out. There's a whole other theory about Yetis. So,
Yes.
there's a documentary about it. Russian Yeti, The Killer Lives.
Why have we not watched this movie?
It sounds great. And it's basically about this exact situation, but a Yeti does it. So that's fun. If anyone's looking for that, that was 2014 Discovery Channel
What?
documentary.
That's recent.
Russian Yeti, The Killer Lives. Check it out.
We need to
probably.
watch it.
We definitely should.
We should have watched it for this episode.
We fail. It's fine.
I let you down.
But yeah, they're like the Abominable Snowman or Bigfoot, which is rude because Bigfoot's a nice guy. So I don't know why they're trying to ruin Bigfoot's name.
I feel like the Abominable Snowman's probably nice too.
He was nice too. You saw Rudolph, probably.
Yeah, and
He's a nice
Monsters
guy.
Inc.
Yes, he's a nice
like,
guy.
what about Adorable Snowman?
Exactly, that's
And
what I'm
he made
saying.
ice
So they're
cones.
trying to put crap on that wonderful little Yeti Bigfoot
Cryptid.
person. Awesome. They also said UFOs. So aliens done did it.
That made sense.
Coming down, being like, hey, we're going to kill you, rip out your tongues and your eyes. Only one person, though.
why?
The rest of you will look conspicuous, kind of normal, just frozen. Cool. Good talk. Now you're dead. So the fourth theory is infrasound.
Well, also, so with the Yeti situation,
All right, let's loop back. Yes, continue.
just because I remembered
Yeah, say words.
that one of the people had like their wounds were like the equivalent of as if they were like thrown off a building.
Yeah, they
Like
got crushed.
Yeah,
yes.
they were like essentially crushed.
Yeah.
And it was like snow's not going to do that. Snow doesn't just crush you.
Yeah.
So it's like what fucked him up that much?
Yeah. Yeah,
A
one
Yeti.
of them was crushed.
Yeah, Yeti crushed him.
I don't think it was Yeti.
He bear hugged
put
him.
crap on Bigfoot.
He's
friend
trying to be
man.
his friend.
Infrasound. You don't know what
My
that
money's
is?
on that one.
Oh, aren't you lucky? I'm going to tell you. It's great. Let's go. It's basically the explanation for... There's a whole book about it. Dead Mountain, the untold true story of the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a phenomenon called the... There's accents on this, I'm wrong. Carmen Vortex Street, which essentially means that gas and fluid and wind and all this stuff goes around a mass, like a mountain. And when that gets too crazy, it causes people to go insane. So, yeah, oscillating power pattern that emerges when fluid or gas in an instant wind flows around a suitably shaped object, as in this instance, a mountain. And it's large scale, caused by the weather in the winter, snow, but there's been basically like research around that it would cause humans specifically to like kind of feel uncomfortable, tense, fatigued, nauseous. But in this case, they were like, oh, it made them go crazy and panic and kill each other or something. So that was another theory. They also said avalanches, but nah. I was going to say nah. It's going to be where I'm at with it. What more likely happened
Yeah.
is that they
The
suffered
truth.
from hypothermia and got into crazy situations because they were losing their minds from their hypothermia symptoms.
Yeah. Well, hypothermia reacts very weird in your brain. One, your body overheats because it's trying to compensate for the fact that it's cold.
It's
So
losing
you
too
feel
much.
Yeah, you feel very hot, so you end up taking off all your clothes. You also just lose like logic thought where you're just like, no, I'm not going to take off my clothes because I'm freezing to death.
There's a term for it. Would you like to know?
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Paradoxal undressing.
Ah, yeah.
Back in 1979, research described this phenomenon as paradoxal undressing. Was it great when I resaid it?
Yeah.
It's basically when people remove their clothes despite the fact that they're cold. As a result, they lose more heat and then
Yep.
die.
Yeah.
And usually, because hypothermia, as you said, makes people disoriented, confused, combative.
Yep.
So it makes sense. They're ripping their own tongues out and their eyes and stuff.
Yep.
And that 20 to, this is a very large percentage range. 20 to 50% of deaths from hypothermia are due to paradoxal undressing.
Yeah.
It's a really big range.
So just keep your
20% and
clothes on.
50% are two very different percentages.
Yeah. If you're like, it's getting hot in here, and someone's like, we are on Death Mountain,
It's
where
cold.
it is
There's
very
snow.
cold.
There's snow everywhere. It's not hot. Put your clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think is crazy is that all of them had this. Or, here's my theory, common sense fear, just a few of them had hypothermia, but they lashed out at the other ones.
Yeah, I could honestly see that. And it says, like, the severe symptoms are slurred speech, significant confusion, drowsiness, apathy or lack of concern. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just general crazy.
Yeah, and like with hypothermia, it does something similar to when you have a stroke. There's this part of your brain that like makes you want to get up and just go to a different room, like go away from people. So kind of like when dogs leave when they're gonna die and they go to like die under a tree instead of near you.
Yeah.
It's like your brain is just like, we have to separate
Yeah.
and just go away, which is not the thing to do when you're having a stroke. You want to have help. And the same with hypothermia, but your you're disoriented, you don't know what logic is, and your brain is telling you need to get out of here. So
Yeah.
I think it's like, coupled with the fact that some of them are freezing, there was either an avalanche or some kind of similar event.
Yeah.
So that also scares them, and they probably heard all kinds of noises that would then trigger them. So that's why they ripped out of the tent, and the rips were obviously from the inside out.
Yeah.
Like they can't, like, it's not a Yeti who came and ripped up the tent for them. And then they probably like ran off. And then one of the theories was like that the avalanche pushed that one guy and he like fell down the whole mountain, which is why he suffered those.
All squished.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, I think if you were insane, or if someone was insane and was attacking you, you could swallow your tongue. Because that's what happens when you have a seizure.
Yeah.
I don't know about her eyes, though.
I mean, my theory is frostbite, and it just, like, escalated real quick. Like,
Yeah, like
she
with
was
her nose
maybe it was,
and
like,
stuff.
panicking because she was aware that something wasn't right. She was panicked, and in her panic, wiped all her frostbite stuff off her face, and those things went away.
Yeah, like her nose and her eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially after watching the movie that we watched.
Yeah, like, it just didn't seem like... I understand why there's crazy theories, like, people die, and you're like, well, why? That's strange. Why would... When you're cold, would you go want to not have clothes on? It's because that's what hypothermia can do to you. But also, science, it's fun. But yeah, it's fun to naturally come to, like, weird theories and, you know, people who, like, don't accept answers for what they are, and they're like, I bet you.
Yeah. So another tale of snow times. That's another reason why I'm, like, so confused, because...
Snow horror.
Snore.
Snorer.
Is that... we're going to talk about the Donner Party.
Yeah.
And this is like an entire group of people who were in the snow, and they didn't get all crazy hypothermia. Like, they had hypothermia, yes.
Yeah.
But there's not like, you didn't get an entire like group of people who did it at the same time in the one
it's
night.
20 to 50%, Gabe.
That's craziness. Yeah, but in those
Between
those
20
but
and
that
50.
absurd, like, I guess, you know what, it's probably like that shared hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one person's going at it and you're all just crazy.
One person's like, you know what sounds good? Eating our cousin. That
Yeah,
sounds great.
that-
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's what happened at the Donner Party instead. Fun fact: Abe Lincoln almost was on the Donner Party.
What?
Yeah, but
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that is a really fun fact.
yeah, he was gonna go on this trip before his presidency, but his wife was really preggers, and they also had a youngin', and he was also on the campaign trail, not the Oregon Trail, so he didn't go.
That's really good. I'm happy that he didn't do that.
Yeah, thanks, dude. So, thanks for not dying or
Thanks
eating
for not
people.
eating people.
So, with Dyatlov Pass, we learned that hypothermia is bad.
Yeah.
With the Donner Party, we learned that eating people is bad.
We learned that. Like, it wasn't
I didn't
known
know
before. What?
So, listener,
just
now you
in.
know. Eating people is bad.
Excellent.
For those of you who might not know what it is, I'm going to school you on it. And going to tell you some extra stuff. Because, again, for some reason, it's very entertaining to me to read and watch and listen to things in regards to people who've died via snow apocalypse. The Donner Party made several mistakes. Like,
Tell me
there's
about 'em.
so many mistakes, which led to their inevitable cannibalism and other horrific deaths. They left to go on their journey far too late in the season, so already they were off to a bad start. Like, you're going to be traveling for a long time. And even if they had, like, gotten to go the proper way and during the proper time, it was still too late. Like, they still would have had some kind of trouble. Because all the people had, like, left before them and were like, now we're doing it. And everyone's like, what do you guys have to go? Why are you still here? And then
What you doing?
What?
Crazy.
get out. Go find a land that belongs to somebody else and take it. They were then further delayed by 3 weeks when most of their cattle were stolen and killed by one of the local tribes. But the Donner Party finally began to go on this journey. They were trying to climb the Sierra Nevada mountains, and when they finally were doing this, it was early November.
Great time.
To climb a mountain.
Great job.
With half your cattle, and like mostly women and children.
That's great. Keep going.
Yeah. Woo! So we're
Winning.
off to a good start. At first they were doing okay.
They didn't know what weather was. What are you talking about?
They definitely knew what weather was.
It was a long time ago. What was science?
Well, they followed the more established trail, which was the California Trail, as far as the Little Sandy River in Wyoming, and then they made a decision to take a new, more direct route over the Wasatch Mountains and across the Great Salt Lake Desert.
Excellent.
So this is new. It's only been done by like a few people.
Yeah.
And again, not in November. And so it's like, oh, we're just gonna take all these families. Like, it's mostly families. Like, people should understand that. It's like, it was led by not the Donner family, actually.
They're just the ones who ate everybody.
No, everyone
I'm
ate
kidding.
everyone.
I'm kidding.
But it was more like these entrepreneurs that were gonna go and try to like make a name for themselves. But it was full of families, and so. The leader of the pack decided they're going to go to this new way. Even though someone had told them not to. They had gotten a message that was like, don't go.
Yeah.
They did anyway. That part's like shady though, because it's like who knew and who didn't tell kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is like shady. Because essentially it would have cost...
Someone was just really... had the rumblies that only hands could satisfy.
Yes. Actually, it was that they needed to fill their pockets. It was that it was more financially positive if they went that way. So the group actually, at the end, was only 90 miles from its final destination, which was at Sutter's Fort. However, an early snowfall trapped the 81 men, women, and children. And so they were stuck in makeshift tents and cabins at Truckee, which is now called Donner Lake. But then it was Truckee Lake, and in the Alder Creek Valley. And yeah, so that's where things got real bad.
As you would think, yeah.
Yeah. So like with the desert, it just like went on forever. And they were stuck out there for months. Like just go like way past like their deadline. They were running out of food, and I think it's important to know that they exhausted all their options.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just jump straight to cannibalism.
Well, yeah.
They worked really hard to the point where they were boiling down the hooves of like their oxen and stuff to this like goop that they were eating.
Dang.
Yeah, like this gelatinous hoof
They were like,
goop.
if we're gonna eat people, we gotta like need to eat people.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they get just 90 miles away from where they're supposed to be, and this avalanche happens, and they cannot. They just can't. One, they're already down most of like their animals, and everyone's exhausted. Yeah. There was already at least one fatality in that there was a fight, and then someone like stabbed someone.
Oh, great.
So yeah.
So we've already traumatized everyone just a little bit, leading towards psychotic break. Witnessing murder. So it's
Yeah.
really positive family bonding time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds great. Keep
going.
going.
So during this time, this is when the cannibalism started. So that's last podcast on the left for anyone, which I got most of my information from. They did a really great 4-part episode series on the Donner Party where they read the material. So I'm just parroting it and just very quickly recapping it. So if you want an in-depth 4-part amazing series that really tears at your heart and then also makes you go, what the fuck? Then that's what you need to listen to. Yeah. So we're referring to you to them because it's really good.
Yeah, they go all facts. We go, why is this scary? So that's the difference.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. So in mid-December, so remember they left in November. They're stuck in this place. A small group that would be later known as the Forlorn Hope left the Truckee camp to find help. Because they're like, okay, everyone stay here to try to camp, and camp is very loose of a term.
Yeah.
They were too cold to really build shelter and like do anything really substantially helpful. Like there wasn't like tents set up.
Yeah.
It was just like scraps of things. Like
Yeah.
it was the loosest term of camp you can have. It's just this is where the people were congregated all at once.
Yeah.
Lots of them because like 80.
Yeah.
So just a few of them are like, all right, we're gonna go on foot. We're gonna try to get to one of the, like either somewhere that's nearby. We gotta find some people. I think they're up this mountain, whatever. And then they got caught in a blizzard and got lost.
Yeah.
In their group, they did have 2 Miwok Native American men who were there as their guide, and who were helping. And then they had this like one leader, right? At one point, well, like there's a group, but there's one guy who was like leading who was not Native American. At one point, that leader died. He was like this really small, tiny man, and they were all like kind of split up trying to figure out like where to go. And at some point they found him, and he was literally like in like there's a hole in a tree, and he was squished in there like he was trying to get warm in this tree, like hypothermia style, like this is logical, and he just died in this like thing. So the team decides waste not, want not. Let's eat him. And so
They should do. I mean,
they do.
Yeah, they need to if they want to live, right?
Yeah, so they eat him. The Miwoks did not partake.
Yeah.
They were like, that's really fucked up.
White people crazy.
Yeah, they're like, another, what did I just witness?
Oh my goodness.
And so they're like, that's crazy. And so like the group is traveling, and at one point they don't necessarily speak English, but they get the vibe, which was accurate, that one of the other leaders was like, well, we are starving and dying. We should eat them next because they're the others. They're different. So in the night, they snuck off. They like left them.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. However, so Louise and Salvador, who are the Miwok men who ran away, run away. But then later they're found and shot and eaten.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really sad.
That's tough.
It's really sad. Yeah, so there's so many crazy stories in this because like you're just thinking like, yeah, Donner Party, 8 people. But then you like don't really put the fact that like these are people.
Yeah.
You know, and that your family was like dying from natural diseases, and then your friends were eating your brother. You know, because they'd have to like, family couldn't eat them.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to work. And it's also just like, I guess, respect. At one point, there was this couple, because everyone's like all messed up. They're so lost. They're like, they barely have any clothes at work anymore. They're like delirious from no food. And like there's this thing is like after a certain point, like your body can live for a long time not eating. Like you can go a long time. The problem is like once you have any little bit to eat, then your body gets like ravenous, and then you eat too much, and then you end up dying because like you overate, kind of thing. Well, so you just like kind of lose all sense like when you're that starving. You also can't move very fast. You can't do any hard work. You can't build anything. You can't trek forward, whatever. Well, there's this one couple that managed to kill a deer, which is like, woo, you did it. So they're like, they killed it, and then they're like eating it just like raw, like just eating a heart like this animal. They're just eating it. And while they were doing that, they're like finishing up their meal. One of their fellow members, this woman, I can't remember her name right now, but she was important. She's either like a Donner or some other prominent family member, comes in and she's like, well, my husband and my dad just died over there because it's cold. And they're like, well,
real nonchalant about it. Why don't you eat them?
Well, the couple's like, well, can we eat them too? And she's like, well, you know, they're dead.
Everyone I love is dead. So go ahead.
Exactly. I don't care about anything anymore. I'm dead
me too.
inside.
You know, why not?
Fuck it all. Sure, why the fuck not? And then they proceed to eat her family in front of her after eating a whole ass deer. And just like I believe this is the part where they're talking about like them eating like, well, they can't.
I know, I'm kidding. It was a joke.
They're just like eating hearts.
Jesus.
It's real people.
Yeah,
that happened.
Funny at all.
This is like a real X-rated episode. Yeah. So meanwhile, back at the camp, people have resorted to eating people too.
What?
Weird, it happens everywhere.
When in doubt, cannibalism.
Or they're just dying.
Yeah.
In like their place that's barely a camp. Eventually it took 4 rescue attempts when after only 7 of the 15 from Forlorn Hope actually find a farming community. And they have to go back and like, because again, there's like 80 of them. They can't take them all at the same time. So it's like 4 different trips. So like one would go, and then when it's on its way back, this other team is coming in. So they finally got help. I know what words are, to get everyone out. On one of the trips, there was like a bunch of children, like because they had a lot of the kids, and they got stopped and they got stuck in snow again, and it was like, we got to hold on. There's like one story where a woman had to leave 2 of her kids because she couldn't take them because they got like hurt, and like the one girl was like, if I don't see you again, like you tried really hard, like was what the girl said. Luckily, another troop was like right behind and was able to save them. So all 4 of her kids lived, but not everyone was that lucky. So there's like this one troop that's full of children practically, and they're stuck in the snow for just like a little bit, and like there's new people there. It's like they're trying to get this out, and a small young little girl was like, well, we should just eat people to survive right now. Like a child.
Yeah.
Like, she was that messed up.
She witnessed.
Yeah, she was just that lost and like messed up. Like, essentially what it makes me think of is like the twins in the Walking Dead comics. There's these 2 little boys who like totally snap and like have no concept of like death. Yeah. So they become like serial killers. It's really messed up. Yeah. And then they're like murdered. It sucks. But that's kind of like what it was, because what was happening was they were killing people, or people would die and then they would feed the kids, the people first, because they want them to live. But it was like, and they tried to like not let the kids know, but like kids are smart and they pay attention. So clearly this little girl was like, nah, I know you killed Uncle Teddy and that he was in our soup. Like, you know, so this is a child who was just like, yeah, we eat people now. That's life. Just like, imagine being stuck in the snow. You've been there forever. Everyone is dying all the time. You've had to resort to probably eating people. And then there's this little girl. She's covered in dirt and snow and probably has frostbite and all of this little stuff. And she just like looks at you, head tilted, and a little voice is like, let's eat our friends.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's really awful.
But they did get through. They did get there, the survivors. Yeah. Like, the camp itself was just, like, destitute. Like, no one was moving. People were under, like, mountains of snow. Like, because they just, like, couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. There was one guy, they found his hut, and it was, like, he was crazy. He, like, was disgusting. He, like, had a body in there, like, hanging, like, it was, like, cured. And he had these people's money and jewelry. And people were like, how did you get this money and jewelry? And he's like, oh, they gave it to me before they died. And I was like, did they? And then he was like this like weirdo outcast in the town because people were like, he prefers people meat over real meat. Like, he was like crazy. Like, this, he was actually a psychopath. And then this opportunity let him like live and be accepted for a minute.
This is my time.
He's like, I didn't know that I was a monster, but now that it's acceptable for like a minute, I'm going to do it like hardcore. Yeah. And just like, yeah. But there's like so much that happened. Like, the cannibalism is honestly like the part that gets the most attention. Mm-hmm. But there was so much, like, people who were dying. Like, there's one guy who cut his hand at the beginning of the trip.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Donner. Cut his hand at the beginning of the trip, and then it got gangrenous, and that's how he died. And he was, like, the leader.
Yeah.
And his wife did not leave his side. Like, she let her kids go, and she was like, take them. But she stayed there until he died, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, them working. There's, like, stories of, like, people who, like, fell in love because there was, like, singles. Like, at least, like, a single guy and, like, someone's daughter. And then, like, they would die because they're not married. And so, like, they would be put to work first. Because, like, you didn't have a family to take care of. So they're the ones who are, like, pulling the wagons when the, like, animals die. And it's just, like... And then, and, like, cannibalism and hypothermia are not the only ways that people died. You broke your leg, dead. It's Oregon Trail. Bit by a snake. There was literally like tales where it was like in these diaries where it's just like the death of the kid was just that the kid walked off into like planes, like walked off out of sight, and it was just like, it's gone now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like kids just disappeared. Like kids just wandered off and then they were left and just never found again. Cause no, like you can't stop. We have to go. We're stuck in the snow. Yeah. So that's the Donner Party. Babies. Yeah, babies dead. So many children. Here's the thing, though. More men died than women during the Donner Party. This could be attributed to the fact that, like, women, like, bodies, like, keep, like, fat and stuff differently. But also because the men were doing like the manual labor. So that's was causing them to die, like wearing them down sooner. Yeah. And there was like a lot of women too. It was like, it wasn't just like the expedition, you know, it wasn't like men trying to figure out where to go. It was originally just supposed to be like, we just go down this path. And then it turned into, why don't we take a left? Into unknown, like only 3 other people have gone down this path, and the one guy came back and was like, don't go there. It was messed up. So that's a Donner Party.
Yeah, so like luckily about life is that that's like not so much of a thing.
Nope.
In that like usually we're not, at least where we are, nomadic. We kind of stay.
Yeah.
Or if we travel, you know, there's cars or buses and trains and stuff that don't get stuck in snow-filled things where you walk everywhere and your kids just walk off and are gone now. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Or they stick around and they want to eat you.
It's awful.
Films. Yeah, films. Yeah, films. We watched some films. Now let's talk about those films. And all that spooky stuff. And all that spooky stuff.
Now we're to more sad things.
Woo!
We're going to talk about a film. I have seen it now 3 times. I don't
Wait,
know why.
what?
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Why didn't
I don't know. The second
you
time was...
say anything? I thought we were experiencing that together.
Oh, no, I definitely saw that once once, and then I saw it with my sister, because she thought she could handle it, and then
No.
with you for this.
No.
So, the film is called Frozen, and it's from 2010. And here's what it's about. When the newly crowned Queen Elsa accidentally uses her power to turn things into ice to curse her home in infinite winter. No, that's all right. Hold on. No, here, I found it. 3 skiers stranded on a chairlift are forced to make life or death choices, which prove more perilous than staying put and freezing to death.
Those are 2 very different things.
Yep. So,
Well,
yeah. Elsa, Anna, and Olaf are on a chairlift.
excellent.
One gets frostbite. One is devoured by wolves. Another one devoured by wolves.
Let's sing
Skin
a
falls
song.
off. Let it go.
Disney.
She like puts her hand on her cheek and she takes off her skin from the frostbite and she's like, let it go. Let it go. It's good. Here all week.
That's a great song.
So
I love it.
it's essentially, so there's 3 friends. Well, it's two friends and then one of the friends' girlfriend. And the friend doesn't like the girlfriend just because, not that he doesn't like her. This is just a bro trip, man. Why'd you bring your woman on a bro trip? Is like the entire film.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. The bro who's upset about it is Shawn Ashmore, who plays Iceman in X-Men. So you'd think he would know what to do, but he didn't.
Yeah, no.
It's very ironic. This film is terrifying. It is a film that takes place almost entirely on the ski lift.
Yeah.
There's maybe 12 minutes where they're not on the ski lift. So what happens is they girlfriend, Packer, whatever her name is.
Parker.
Yeah. Packer's not a name. Parker isn't good at snowboarding. She's not good at it. And
Girls are bad at sports, according to this guy.
She's just trying to connect.
It's
like,
just
something she's never done.
Boyfriend, I love him, whatever, rude friend.
Yeah. So they spend the entire day on the bunny hill, and Iceman gets really upset about it, throws a temper tantrum. So they coax the guy who runs the ski lift to let them on, even though it's nighttime and they're going to close for the entire week. But they're like, put us on this lift.
It's really fine.
Yeah. And then, like, all the worst things that could happen do, and they end up stuck on this lift. Shuts down. And, again, it's Sunday, so the place doesn't open up till next Friday.
Yeah.
They're super dead. And, like, what I liked about it was that, one, it was, like, the one time. So, when they're on it and it first stops, they're just like, what? And after, like, maybe 2 minutes, she's like, no, they forgot about us. We're dead. You know, and it's like, okay, you're being ridiculous. Calm down. Remember last time we were stuck up here? And she's like, yeah, but we are after hours. No one else knows where we are. And then the lights turn off. Yeah. And she's the one who's speaking all of the truth. She's like, we are going to die. And I understand it's like, keep calm, whatever. But this is like one of the times where a girl is acting hysterically and it's completely within reason.
Yeah.
Like, she is telling you all the real things.
And the men are sitting there like, no, it's fine. Stop, you're scaring me.
Yeah. Well, it's like they're trying to, like, calm her down and reason with her, and they can't because it's true. And, like...
Yeah. She's throwing facts, and they're like, no, optimism.
No, yeah.
And we're like, nah.
Or if we would have acted faster, like, if they had been like, all right, we need to evacuate this area, then they probably would have gotten down when people were still around. Or they would have ended up, like... coming down at the time when that guy showed up with the snowplow thing. There were so many times when they like almost got saved and then they didn't. And then there's a scene, it's the worst scene ever. It's the worst scene before the worst scene. Where the boyfriend decides he's going to jump.
Yeah.
And it's like really high up. You guys know what ski lifts are. And he doesn't want to go, and he does it the worst way. He goes feet first.
Yeah.
And it's not soft, fluffy snow. It's hard snow.
Well, yeah, because they wait a few hours till it like get real dark and extra cold and icy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he goes feet first, so both his legs break really grotesquely. And there's like bones really sticking out. So then he's stuck. And then the friend's like, I don't know if I can climb down. And then they're like fucking around for a while, and then they hear wolves. And then Iceman's like, all right, I'm going to like go across the line, like holding on and try to get down to a pole.
Like, this is something you could have been doing 2 hours ago. Before
it was like iced, and before it was like iced over.
Yeah, before we're gonna go jump off of stuff.
Yeah,
I think first plan should have been to try that.
Yeah, the boyfriend should have did that. Yeah. And so, I don't know why they thought was the thing, but this was like the best scene was when he's like going. And he's, like, putting his hands out. And he's, like, doing it. And he stops. And you just, like, he sees what the viewers don't see. And then he backtracks. And you're like, why is he going back?
Like, what is he doing?
Like, this is stupid. Like, what do you, like, we don't. And then, like, he just gets back into the ski lift. And then he grabs her head. And he, like, has her face him. And, like, is trying to cover her ears. Because the wolves have showed back up. And now there's a whole pack of them. And then they eat the boyfriend.
Yeah, like, really brutal. Like, they're screaming. And all you hear is, don't you dare let her look.
Yeah.
As he's dying. He's literally being eaten.
Yeah.
And he's screaming, don't you dare let her look.
Yeah.
And then she's screaming, let me look. And he's just holding her head.
Yeah.
And everyone's crying and screaming.
And we're crying.
And it's like it's not way too long because I just thought it was like very powerful the way that they did it. But it was a very long time of that.
Yeah, it's a very long time to hear like the snarling, chewing sound of animals. And you don't see it. Like, they don't, it's not gross. And you never really, you don't even see his corpse. Like, you see it for, like, a second. Yeah. And even then, you don't. Like, there's one part where it gets gross, and that's at the end. But, like, it relied so much on Foley work and the sound and the intensity of, like, her losing her shit, him, like, trying to keep her together. He's losing his shit. You heard him screaming. Now he stopped screaming because they go to a face first. And then just hear these wolves snacking on boyfriend. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just a lot of emotions happening. There's a lot of, like, conversation between them where she's like, you should have died. And her dog's gonna die because she's not home to feed it, and that
was a really emotional scene. The whole thing, it's just like they did a really good job of making it painful.
Yeah.
With like what I would assume is very little extra fluff or whatever. It's just like, yeah, no, this is awful.
It's very raw.
This is scary.
Yeah.
Don't do this. This is like real. This isn't even like, as you said, what we're on ghosts or paranormal. This is like, this has probably happened in some way more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. People just devoured. It's like, yeah. And to me, it was like for a film that takes place almost primarily and entirely on a ski lift, it was still so engaging, like for the whole time. Like you're never like, okay, I'm bored now. You're like, what is, like, how? Like, they literally try, like, 3 things, and yet that lasts the entire film. And every new thing, every new discovery, like, she gets frostbite and her skin is falling off. She wakes up and her hand is gripping the pole, so she has to, like, rip it off, and the skin is there. And it's like, it's horrifying. And it was still engaging. It reminded me of Buried with Ryan Reynolds, which takes place entirely underground. Like, he's in a coffin. The whole film, like where you're relying on emotion and just like these people reacted the way people would react if they were in this traumatizing situation. Yeah. And then what is very cool is that it was shot entirely practically, that there was no soundstage, no green screen, no CGI. They were actually suspended over 50 feet in the air on the side of a real mountain, but in Utah, not in New England.
That's like really stressful.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about it, 50 feet, he jumped from 50 feet and was like, cool, like I'm gonna do that. There's no way. It wasn't 50 feet in the film.
Yeah. Like
maybe it's 50 feet when they were filming it, but like I think the scale they try to make it at, was it 50 feet? It didn't seem that large. He would have been, wouldn't he be dead? How much is 50 feet?
No, I mean, you would break your legs.
Yeah, 100%. Why did he think that was a good idea? And then,
he was trying to be brave. He was being stupid, though. He was just being stupid.
When you see his legs straight out, it's like, oh, no. At least, like, flat. You can, like, I feel like you'd be evenly distributed a little more.
Yeah.
Or something.
You don't want to land on your buttocks and your spine.
Oh. Well, maybe just don't fucking jump.
Just don't jump, probably. The whole thing was just focusing on what would actually happen in this situation. It was just very real. That, like, this is terrifying because of the fact that if this happened, these are all factors that you would have to deal with. It's cold. You're getting frostbite. The lights are going out and you don't know why. Like, you're college kids. Yeah. You don't know. You're like, we're naturally inclined to think everything's gonna be cool, just wait.
Like, there's no way this is happening to us.
Yeah, like, this isn't real.
They can't let this happen to us. Like, that kind of idea. Like, people know we were here. And it's
we
like,
paid
they
money
don't.
for this trip thing.
Yeah. And then she's like, no one knows I'm here. I didn't tell anyone. It's like, that's why you tell everyone everything. That's why there's Facebook. But, yeah, it was really good.
It was a really good movie.
10 stars.
I was so stressed out, like, the entire time. It was, and I don't even know how long it was. It was very long. It wasn't, like, crazy long, but it was long enough that I was like,
how am I this stressed consistently for such a long period of time and not getting up? I'm waiting. Mm-hmm. These people are just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
it's never ending. When's the help happen?
Yeah.
That was the whole movie. Me. Engaged and stressed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Feelings. Yeah, feelings. Yeah, feelings. Yeah, I said feelings. Let's talk about feelings. Okay. And all that spooky stuff. I love spooky stuff.
So this rating is based on which of these horrible, grotesque ways to die or to happen to you post-mortem. So if you like it, it's wolf food. Because that's at least somewhat acceptable
Yeah.
to be wolf food. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, it's people food.
Like people eating people.
Yep. Because that's not okay. And on a scale of 1 to fucked up, it's all the way up there.
Yeah. No, pretty accurate. So,
So for the subject of deadly snow.
yeah, I'm for it. I'm wolf food.
Wolf food?
Please. 100%
Yeah.
yes, wolf food.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah, no, it's the whole time. It's definitely not how I want to go. I already didn't really plan to ever ski or snowboard. Now I just am like extra there. But the topic, yeah, no, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think wolf snackaroos. In that, yeah, I think it's scary. It's appropriately scary. Because that's what being out in the snow is.
Yeah, I just feel like
And
an
the
impending
elements.
death is bad in general.
Yeah.
And especially when it's not something you can really like fight.
Yeah.
You can't fight weather.
No.
It's not like you put your dukes up and 1-2. No, you're just dead.
Listen, if I'm trapped out in an Oregon Trail, going to manifest destiny my way onto someone else's property and making it my own, and then I get trapped in snow, like, and my fingers are falling off, and I'm too hot even though I know it's cold, I'm just gonna I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm gonna kill myself really far away where no one can find me.
No, I'd let
Or-
them eat me.
Or I kill myself and then, no, don't eat me.
No, I mean, your body's serving a purpose. You died for a good reason. That's sacrifice.
Yeah, but for what reasons? So kids can be psychopaths? That's,
I
yeah,
don't know. All I'm saying
I
is,
guess.
if I'm going to die anyway, which I'm gonna in these situations, I wouldn't have lived past like 7. But like extra, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's cool. Take my stuff.
Yeah,
Survive.
guess.
Make the world better. Forget that you ate me.
I guess I'd rather be the eaten than the eater.
Remember my name, but forget you ate me.
Yeah, imagine living in the town and everyone knows you were in the Donner Party.
Yeah, no,
And even if you
Pretty
didn't
sure.
eat people, people think that you ate people. So you might as well eat people.
yeah.
Like, what are, between you and God's going to be like, well, I dealt you a tough hand. I don't blame you, God. And then for Frozen.
Wolf food, it was very well done. And it should be, I don't know if it won awards, it should win awards. It was
It
great.
should definitely win a award.
They were very creative with what they had and used all the great things to make, take raw human emotion, what is really real and scary about like what that situation would be. Just film it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Great movie. Let's go.
I will say this. That actress, I don't have her name because I didn't write it down, is phenomenal. I was thinking when I was watching it this time was just like how emotional and real and just like how she could just like sob like that and
Yeah.
like and just like everything felt so real and like you can't get that. Like I was like there's no way I could do that.
Yeah, it was great.
Like that was, I really believe that that's where she was and that this was
Yeah.
her situation. And her boyfriend just died and her life is crushed and she's terrified. Like all of those things I felt, I believed. Sean Ashmore, like I believed him because he's just like a dude. He didn't
Yeah.
have to be, like he was a little emotional and he
Yeah.
had some times, but even then it felt kind of bro-y. Like he's my best friend since we were children. and he tells that heartfelt story about him.
Yeah.
But when she says, like, I was going to marry that boy, like, that was 10 times more emotional to me than him talking about how he was chosen in the class.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. And that might be just because I'm a lady. So I was just like,
very
love.
No, I think she really did an amazing job for the exact reasons you just said.
So it's a great film. I think you guys should watch it. I won't watch it again. 3 is my limit.
1 was enough for me. It was a lot.
I don't know why I've watched it that many times. It's honestly too many times.
It's
for
a
that
very
film.
upsetting movie. Like, it's great. You need to watch it once.
So intense.
But don't watch it more than once because it's a lot.
And watch it with a friend.
Do not watch it alone. Oh my gosh.
And in the winter, like we did. If you want to snuggle up with your honey and
In
have
the
some
snow.
cocoa and marshmallows, and you just built a snowman together,
And you're at a ski lodge.
and you're like, let's go skiing after hours.
So let's watch this great movie first.
Yeah, do that, and then you won't go out and make that dumb decision.
Yeah.
You probably won't get laid either because it's really gross.
Yeah, no, it's
really
really
gory
gross
at the
movie.
end,
It's a
too.
really gross movie. Oh my goodness.
It's pretty gross at the
You
end.
see way more than you want of
Yeah.
wolves eating things.
Ooh, skin. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear with you.
So snow is scary. Okay. Don't get married because
Your kids will try to eat you.
your kids are gonna eat you,
Or you eat them.
or they wander off in the woods, or they're eaten by wolves.
Wait, why? Wolf snacks.
Wolf
People
snacks. Num num num. Okay. Bye.
Bye.